there. Welcome to Live by Design, a place where I hope you'll find content that is informative, inspiring, and insightful. I'm your host, Muadi. I'm a life coach, a motivational speaker, a consultant, a yogi, the world's best aunt. And today is Tuesday, February 21st, 2017. How are you? It has been such a long time since we've been able to be together in this space. I'm pretty active on my social media stuff, so Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, but it's been a while, I think more than 6 months since we've been here in this space, and I've missed it. I've missed you. I've missed being here. I'm often able here to express myself and go a little bit more in depth into some of my different thoughts, much more so than I can do in 40 characters on Twitter or 58 seconds on Instagram. So I'm here, and my intention is to be here more often in 2017. As a matter of fact, a good friend of mine, we set up this sort of like a partnership where we're challenging each other to make sure that we do the things that we love to do and that we want to do in our business and in our personal lives this year. And this is one of those things. I love this space. So I haven't seen you since the beginning of the new year, and I hope that your new year is off to a great start. Mine is. I am right now working with 4 different social justice organizations, and it's really exciting. It's interesting. Before all the work came to me, I was reflecting a couple of months ago actually, several months, about how, just reflecting on different clients and wondering where they are and how they're doing. And I kid you not, within 2 or 3 days, they all had reached out to me, asking me to come back and do some different work with them this year, and then a couple of new folks. So the year is off to a great start, but that means I'm very busy, and I haven't been able to take the time to sit down here with you like this, but I'm going to do that more this year because I love this. So today I wanted to share with you some thoughts about what it means to make the sacrifices that you need to do, that you need to make, so you can have the things that you say that you want to have in life. We've talked about this before, but I was reminded of this lesson a couple of weeks ago. I was in D.C. watching my nephew, one of my nephews, Yenga. He's 2, and the best little kid. I mean, I love this kid. He's awesome. And while I was watching him, my sister Musa sent me a text asking me, how's the little man? She knows I watch him in the morning sometimes when I'm in D.C., and we like to keep each other informed about what's happening among our kids, among the nephews and nieces. So she's in Boston, where I am now actually, and then I'm in D.C. So she's always asking me what the D.C. crew's doing. I'm always asking her how the Boston kids are doing, and that's how we sort of keep up. So she sent me a text, and she asked me, how's the little man? And I sent her back a text saying I had to reprimand him for the first time, and I had all these little sad faces that I sent with it because he's a great, all kids are great actually, but this is my little boo thing, right? And so we get along very well. He's wonderful, smart, very kind, very sweet, but he's 2, so he's going to do what 2-year-olds do. He wants to see, what's going on. He wants to test some boundaries. He's trying to find this. He's got his little personality. He's trying to make his mark, and I'm not mad at that at all, and I really encourage it. But at the same time, our responsibility as the caretakers of these little souls is to make sure that they get a nice foundation of values, of discipline, of a way of living that will allow them to really thrive. So we were sitting upstairs in the living room, and he decided he was going to sit on the ledge of the windowsill inside the house, not outside. The windows were closed, but he was sitting to low windows. He was just sitting, and I told him, "Come on, let's go get up." And he said, "No." And I looked at him, I said, "Yenga, get up." And usually when I take that tone and I look him dead in his eyes, we'll have a little staring contest for a couple of seconds. And then he'll slowly start to walk in the direction that I asked him to go. Or if I tell him to give me something, he'll come and he'll bring it as close to me as possible, and then he'll just sort of stop. And I'll wait. And I always win. But this time, no, he wasn't moving. So I said, "Yenga," I said, "Get down." And he looked at me, I said, "No." Finger and everything. I said, "Oh, here we go." And so it begins, right? So I gave him a couple more seconds to get himself together, and he wasn't moving. So I picked him up gently, because that's my boo thing. I picked him up, put him on the couch, and I said, "You're going to sit here for 5 minutes." So he sat there. And in children's years, when they're at that age, 5 minutes feels like 5 years. So he's sitting and he's pouting, and he tried to get up as I said, sit down. And so while he's sitting, we're having a conversation about how he ended up in this chair. I recognize, of course, he's 2, so it's going like this, in one ear and out the other, down the block, But I wanted him to have the experience now of what it means to start to learn about this idea of consequences and behavior and structure, knowing that we're going to have the conversation many, many times over. But that it's important to me that's part of my responsibility to make sure that when I'm with my children, my nephews and nieces, that I am consistently following the principles that their parents and the standards that their parents have set. That's what it means to sort of be a collective village raising these children. But it doesn't feel good. And, I want to be the aunt that the kids like. I like to be the aunt where they see me like, Auntie Muadi, Auntie Muadi. I love that. And so whenever I have to be in a situation where I'm telling them to not do something or whatever, or reprimanding them, internally, it's not a struggle because we get it done. But internally, there's always a part of me that's like, dang, that right now, I know in their head, they're like, I can't stand her. That whole tape that they play in their head towards the adults, I can't stand her. I wish she wasn't here, all that stuff. And then they get over it. But it still has to be done. And it doesn't always feel good. And so my sister sent me the text, how's little man? I sent her my response, and she sends me back a text, fix it now or pay for it later. And I immediately felt all right. Because that's exactly what we do when it comes to these children. Fix it now, pay for it later. Check the behavior now so that we don't have to deal with the consequences of that particular type of behavior in the future. Case in point, I have a 14-year-old nephew, Talib, that's the light of my eye. I was there on the opposite side of the living room door when that boy was born. That's my little Cocoa Puff. Love him. And he's a great kid. And I know I say that about everybody, but this brother is bad. I love him. But, as aunt, over the course of the 14 years, there have been times when I've had to check him on some behavior or, enforce a rule or whatever, where I know that in the moment he's thinking, I can't stand her. I wish he'd go back to D.C. or Atlanta or whatever. I know it. And then he gets over it and we're all good. But back to Musa's philosophy, fix it now, pay for it later. I'd rather have him not like me for a couple of days at the age of 14 than be visiting him in lockup or some other crazy place when he's 16 and 17 because we didn't check that behavior when we saw it initially. And so when I'm dealing with my nephews, when I'm dealing with my nephews and my nieces, that's what the philosophy is. Let's check this behavior now. Let's course correct it now so that we don't have to try to undo it next year or down the line. So after she sent me that text and I started to feel fine about Yanga, because once he got off the couch, he was good to go. I started to think about the other places where that principle can apply. Fix it now or pay for it later. As you look at your life, as I look at my life, I'm sure all of us can look at situations that are going on right now, whether it's in our finances, in our romantic lives or partnerships, on the job, our health and wellness. We can look at different aspects of our lives and see things that we're not so happy with right now that we know are a result of a decision that we made years ago, decades ago, or something that we saw that we did not check, that we did not fix. We didn't do back then what we knew we should have done, and right now we're paying for we're experiencing, I should say, the consequences of our actions. So, some folks, it might be a relationship. You got down with somebody after the first date, you didn't like their tone. You didn't like his tone, or you thought maybe she drank a little too much, and something inside of you said, fix this, or address it, or talk about it, but you were so caught up in the rapture of love, right? Or of the good feelings that you said, I'm going to let it slide. Then a year goes by, 2 years go by, and then you find yourself in a relationship with somebody you don't hardly like, or who treats you like garbage. Or you were in a relationship with somebody and you had such bad behaviors that you couldn't get yourself together and he or she left you. And now you're here by yourself and somebody, who was pretty good for you bounced because you could not get your behavior together then. So you could have that good relationship now. We're living in a society, most of us, where we don't like to put off our good feelings. Deferred gratification, is not something that's popular here. It's a necessary ingredient to success in any aspect of your life, whether it be the fitness, the health and wellness, the relationships, careers, or whatever. The principle of putting off your good feelings so that you can do what you need to do right now. It's critical, it's important to any aspect, any formula for success. That's a central piece, but it's the piece that we don't want to do. We don't want to have the difficult conversations with loved ones or friends when at the first sign of trouble, and we want to wait and let things fester and then things blow up down the line. You start to see that you're gaining weight or that your health is starting to deteriorate, and instead of taking corrective action now, you wait till you get a big crisis or that major diagnosis, and then you want to turn things around. You see right now that you have a problem with spending. You don't have what you need to have in your bank account, or you don't have the stuff together, but you just sort of wait. You should have waited until they're coming for your house or trying to repossess your car. Fix it now or pay for it later. It's a simple formula that's actually not that complicated. It's just hard for us to do. Getting a handle on that and learning how to have the fierce conversations with others and with yourself. Learning how to put off your good feelings momentarily so that you can do that workout or avoid that piece of food that you know is not good for you. That will allow you to have what you want to have in the future. This morning I got up. It's 31 degrees outside in Boston, right? There's still snow on the ground. I went running, crawled a little, walked a little, whatever. I was out there. And it was a struggle. I didn't want to be out there, but I do know that come summertime when I'm in New York trying to take dance intensives or taking classes, I don't want to have to carry an extra 30 pounds of winter weight or whatever it is and not feel good about myself and be in front of the mirror or next to somebody else who's, going off and I'm, gasping for air because I let my whole health and wellness and fitness slide for the whole winter because I'm spending so much time in Boston. So I went out and I ran and I did it yesterday and I went to yoga yesterday and I'm going to yoga tonight. Now yoga, that's different because I like going to yoga, but the running thing, not so much. But I'm fixing that now so that when I'm in New York and I'm taking Ron Brown's class and I'm going across the floor, I can get down and do my stuff rather than puffing and wheezing. And I'm joking a little bit. Well, actually, I'm not joking about that because I'm serious. But so many of us say that we want things, but we're not willing to do the thing that we need to do to have those things. And 9 times out of 10, you know what it is because your intuition, your gut, something tells you. You get a signal, you get a sign, you get a feeling, and you ignore it, or you just know you're having the experience of pain in your body. You're having the experience of pain in your relationship, but you don't want to address it. And I get it. It's not easy. It's not easy having the courage to challenge people who are close to you and risk being by yourself so that you can have a better relationship with them. It's not easy to stay away from foods. Some of these foods have ingredients in them that are addictive. So it's painful for some people to put down the sugar or put down the salt or whatever that thing is that they're addicted to. But I'm telling you, I was at the bus stop this morning coming to Origination, and I saw a gentleman, and I don't know what his life is, I don't know what his experience is, but I know he's around my age. He looked like he could have been, in his 40s, maybe early 50s or whatever, and his body's broke down. And it's not to say, I don't know, and this is not judgment, because he could have had some kind of chronic illness. I don't know. Maybe he's overcoming something. But it did put my mind to myself, to my body, to my health, and reminded me, Muadi, fix it now. Do it now. Do those things now that don't always feel comfortable. They don't always feel good, but you know they're going to pay off in the future. So this week, as you think about your week, take a look at your life. Think about your life as you look at your week ahead and the decisions that you have to make, the choices that you get to make, the conversations that you can have, the conversations that you may be avoiding. Ask yourself, is it possible for you to bring some awareness, some attention to those areas that need fixing and take action? Take some action. If it's about your health and wellness, can you go for a walk? You don't have to run a marathon, but can you walk around the block? Can you look at the food that you're eating and maybe this week stay away from one thing that you know is not good for you, that you know you need to leave alone? If it's in your relationships, if you have a partner or significant other, and maybe you all have been together for a while and you want to be together for a while longer, maybe there's some things that you need to start to address because maybe 10 years from now you won't be able to deal with whatever that thing is. Maybe they're loud, or maybe that you think they're disrespectful. Things don't often get better by chance. Things get better by choice. Things don't get better because we cross our fingers and hope for the best. Things get better because we make a decision to take decisive action in a particular area to have an impact on the outcome. That's how things get better. But if you don't do anything, then nothing will change. Jim Rohn, a speaker who I love, he's passed away in 2009. He often said, "Today is the day. Right now, fix your 10 years from now. Now is the time to fix the 10 years. Now is the time to fix the next 10 years." And what that means is do what you need to do now so 10 years from now you can have a better life. Take action so you can have a better outcome. Take action so you can have a better experience on this planet. But one thing is guaranteed. There are not a lot of things that are guaranteed in this world, right? But one thing that is guaranteed is that if you don't change anything, nothing is going to change. If you don't change, your life is not going to change. So I want to encourage you this week, in the next couple of days, look at your life. Ask yourself, what needs fixing? What needs fixing? And get about the business of addressing it. Fix it. Fix it now or pay for it later. And if you're paying for something right now that you didn't fix before, it's not too late. You can course correct. You can bring about a change. It's just going to take a little bit of courage and a little bit of hard work. That's how it goes. That's life. There's no getting around it. But the good news is that the work works. If you do your work, work will work for you. You get it? Does that make sense? I hope it does. Made sense in my head. Anyway, that's my message for today. My goal, my intention is to be with you more in this space. In the meantime, this week, make this the week that you look at your life, bring laser beam focus and attention to the things in your life that need fixing. And come on, y'all, let's just get it together, okay? And I'm speaking about myself as well. So that's it. I'm going to be here next week with you. In the meantime, take care of yourself. Take care of the people that you love. Have a fabulous week on purpose. And I will see you soon. Bye.